I first saw the original Dragon Ball over 20 years ago when it aired on Toonami back in 2001. And I gotta say, it's got a lot of really great fights in it. And in this video, I will be giving you my top 10 list of fights from the original Dragon Ball anime. The show that basically set the standard for what every anime should be. Now, with that out of the way, let's start with number 10. Goku vs. Sky Dragon. Now, this is a very rare, it's a very obscure fight from the first anime. It's basically Goku representing the Chinstar School and fighting Sky Dragon, the #1 pupil of the Panther Fang School, as earlier in the episode, there was a dispute where the guy who runs it accused Chin's son of stealing his wallet. Goku and Sky Dragon duke it out, and to confuse Sky Dragon, Goku busts out his afterimage technique. But Sky Dragon is actually able to counter it with the Phantom Leg, and suddenly Goku's stomach begins rumbling like crazy. Goku then gets knocked around the ring 3 times. Sky Dragon asks Goku if he's gonna try using the afterimage again. Goku admits that won't work, and yeah, Goku could still use the Kamehameha, but that would kill the guy. So, when they both jump into the air, Goku unleashes the Phantom Star technique that he learned from the Chinstar School and strikes Sky Dragon and hits Sky Dragon hard enough to knock him out, winning Goku the fight. Now, it's really too bad that the Phantom Star technique never made another appearance. It was really cool, and it's the main reason why I put this fight on the list. The Phantom Star kinda seems like Goku's own version of the Wolfang Fist. And like I said before, it's really too bad that this technique never appeared again in the series, as after this season, the show more or less entirely relied on beam and energy ball attacks. This is a bunch of fast punches and kicks, like something out of a Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan movie, which was kind of Akira Toriyama's inspiration for the series. The Goku vs. Tien rematch from the 24th Tenkaichi Budokai. Okay, now I knew the outcome of this fight even before I got the DVD box set it was on. After throwing a bunch of punches and not being able to land a single blow on Goku that wasn't blocked, Tien actually fires an energy blast directly at him, and Goku instantly knocks it back. And in all fairness, the last time these two fought in this tournament, Goku was a little kid, and Tien was only able to win by a ring out and with a bit of luck. So, in all fairness, now that Goku's a teenager, there's no way that Tien would have a chance at winning. Even if he was able to deflect the blast just like Goku did, the outcome of this fight was, well, decided the minute both combatants stepped into the ring. Goku and Tien then continue to trade blows while moving at superhuman speed. And Goku is only... well, the only reason Tien can keep up is because Goku is still wearing his weighted training clothes. Tien tries to strike from behind, but Goku dodges fast enough to evade all three of Tien's eyes. Something that not even Master Roshi could do. But that counter was more or less about proving how much faster he was than Tien. Something that Goku himself admits. And Master Roshi comments about how Goku is leagues above Tien Shinhan at this point. Considering the last time these two fought at the World Tournament, Goku was just a little kid, and both of them, Goku and Tien, were somewhat even. So even that Tien had to use the Tri-Beam technique to vaporize the ring, making it so whoever hits the streets of Papaya Island first loses. And he just got lucky. Goku almost won if this idiot wasn't driving by and Goku accidentally slammed into his truck. So anyways, Goku and Tien then fight again some more at superhuman speed, until Tien is eventually able to land a kick on Goku. One that nearly knocks him out of the ring. But then Goku spins around like a tornado and propels himself back into the ring. So anyways, they actually pause the fight so Goku can take off his weighted training clothes. And Tien admits that it's really heavy. But then Goku admits that, well, Goku says that combined, the weighted t-shirt, his wristband, and his boots all add up to 100 kilos. The fight continues, and Goku and Tien clash. Another thing that I really like about this fight is that Goku has a little bit of fun humiliating Tien. As Tien was going on and on about how the weighted training clothes didn't matter, and how Goku was still one step behind him, Goku was able to steal his belt in a way where he did it so fast that he was able to evade all three of Tien's eyes. Master Roshi would not have been able to do that. And then Tien's pants fall down. And based on how Tien won the tournament the last time he fought Goku, he kind of deserves this. So anyways, then Tien uses his multiform technique to split himself into 4 different beings. And this is where he makes the big mistake that costs him the fight. You see, all of the Tien clones only have 1/4 of the original strength. So there is no way they could take Goku on in a 1-on-4 fight. Even though I do like the stance that Tien and his clones fall into when they fire 4 different beams at Goku, even though none of them hit him, it's like Tien's own version of the Kamehameha wave. So anyways, Goku then shows that he himself can use the solar flare technique just as well as Tien could, which only adds to Tien's humiliation. I mean, the solar flare was his technique, and Goku is able to copy it almost instantly to use it against him. Something that Tien points out in annoyance as Goku tells him what exactly the flaws in his multiform technique are. Goku knocks Tien and his 3 clones out of the ring, winning him the match and not needing to blow the ring up to do it. Piccolo vs. Krillin from the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. I know that in my previous choice for this list, I referred to this as the 24th tournament, but a lot of my choices for this list are and came from the 23rd tournament, and I'm just correcting that mistake right now. Now, one of the reasons that this fight is so good is literally because someone like Piccolo fighting Krillin, you don't really think that Krillin would even have a snowball's chance, since as the franchise went on, Krillin, he went back to being more and more of a comic relief character, and Piccolo is a badass he was a badass in Dragon Ball and is still a badass in Dragon Ball Super. So the thought of Krillin actually being a challenge for him would be laughable. In all fairness, if I knew this fight was gonna happen prior, I would just assume it was filler and Piccolo would just punch Krillin out of the ring and win the match with that one punch. But instead, Krillin starts the match off by firing 2 energy blasts at Piccolo, but these are actually homing blasts. So even though he dodged them, well, it doesn't matter, because Krillin can control where the beams are headed. Piccolo counters with his laser vision and destroys both blasts. Krillin instantly appears behind Piccolo and punches him right in the face. Now, here's the thing. Krillin prepared for this tournament, and it's clear he trained smarter, not harder, to win. But here's the thing. Unless he's fighting Chiaotzu, that won't work. As for most of the time in Dragon Ball, if you try to rely on brains over brawn, you either get knocked out of the ring, or killed. This is why the Krillin is the best fighter in DBZ theory is bullshit. As, well, by that logic, he wouldn't be the best fighter. Hercule would be the best fighter, as Hercule is human and never died once. It is possible for a character on the show to win a fight using technique instead of raw power, but that rarely ever happens. In the main series, outside of the movies, usually that doesn't go very well. And training smarter instead of harder is the reason why Krillin lost this fight, and would have never had a chance to become world champion in the first place. Anyways, Piccolo and Krillin go at it. Piccolo jumps into the air, Krillin follows, and Piccolo kicks Krillin hard enough with the intention of knocking him out of the ring. But then we find out that Krillin has actually learned the Baku no Jutsu, or flight ability. The match recommences with Krillin throwing a flurry of punches and kicks. But now that Piccolo's done toying around, Krillin can't land a single blow on him. Piccolo then uses the Mystic Attack to grab Krillin by the leg and deck him right in the face, sending him flying. But using his ki, Krillin reflects and flies back towards Piccolo, who then kicks him directly into the air. Piccolo then jumps into the air, and Krillin knows that he only has one card left to play. Krillin's only chance of winning would be to put everything he has into one Kamehameha and hit Piccolo with it at point-blank range. Krillin launches that point-blank Kamehameha, and it does kind of hit Piccolo, but then Piccolo appears behind Krillin and bashes him over the head, hard enough to send him directly into the stadium floor, where Krillin then gives up. The thing about this fight is both fighters trained smarter, not harder, but Piccolo was leagues above Krillin in terms of power, and that's why he won. And it's why he made it to the final round of this tournament, but didn't win. Goku versus Master Roshi, aka Jackie Chun, from the World Martial Arts Tournament in Season 1. Okay, Jackie Chun is Master Roshi in disguise, but I am going to be referring to him as Jackie Chun just for simplicity. I mean, at the very beginning of the fight, Jackie Chun kicks Goku out of the ring, and he can't use the flying Nimbus this time. Goku flies back into the ring by using his tail like a helicopter blade. Jackie Chun uses the Kamehameha wave, and Goku more or less counters with one of his own, which results in a beam struggle that ends in a tie. Jackie Chun tries using the double after image, like he did against Krillin, and Goku counters by using his, insane talent of copying martial arts abilities, and he goes beyond that. This wasn't like when he learned the Kamehameha from just seeing it once. In this instance, Goku invents an entirely new technique, the triple shadow after image. Jackie tries to throw Goku off his game, dodges blows, and inflict damage using drunken boxing, which is an allusion to the 1978 Jackie Chan movie, The Drunken Master, and Goku counters it with a new technique that he just invented, the Crazy Monkey Technique. But then Jackie Chun pulls out his trump card, his ace in the hole, the Thundershock Surprise Attack, which actually inflicts a lot of damage to Goku and has him completely pinned down. In fact, Goku is in so much pain and pressure because of Jackie Chun's trump card that he almost forfeits the match. But then Goku sees the full moon, and Goku then busts out of the lightning flash surprise attack, or whatever it was called, by transforming into his Ozaru form. Goku then goes on to smash up the World Martial Arts Tournament arena. So Jackie Chun goes into his buff form, and fires a max power Kamehameha at the moon, blowing it up and reverting Goku back to normal. Goku almost knocked Jackie Chun out of the ring, but then Jackie Chun, in order to avoid this, actually goes as so far as to ram his foot into the ring to prevent himself from losing. They throw a barrage of punches and kicks at each other for at least a minute, because they're both all out of techniques to use. But then it all comes down to that one final blow where both of them hit each other at the exact same time. But because Jackie Chun was able to get up and declare himself the world champion first, because Goku blacked out, he won the tournament. Even though, in my opinion, it should have been Goku who won the tournament, because, come on. How hard is it to just get up and say, I'm the world champion? Or just scream it out loud? I mean, he was able to get up first. If anything, yeah, Goku also should have just charged at Jackie Chun as soon as he climbed back in the ring, knocked him out, and won the world tournament. But with that out of the way, on to my number 6 choice for this list. The first Goku vs. Yamcha fight. This fight was amazing for one of 2 reasons. The first being the fact that it's actually one of the few fights in Dragon Ball that could actually happen in real life. This and the fight between Goku and Sky Dragon. That and the fact that this was the episode to introduce Yamcha's signature Wolf Fang Fist. The Wolf Fang Fist is one of my favorite physical techniques from Dragon Ball. And yeah, it is a shame that by Dragon Ball Z, it basically became obsolete. And this is why I put the fight between Goku and Sky Dragon on the list, because they kind of gave him his own version of Yamcha's Wolf Fang Fist in the form of the Phantom Star technique. I don't know, maybe I'm just a sucker for really cool and flashy martial arts attacks, especially ones of the taijutsu variety that you could potentially learn and master in real life. But the first time Yamcha and Goku fought, this trick was effective. It inflicted damage on Goku, but was not enough to defeat him. Yamcha and Goku clash, and yeah, when Yamcha's about to pull off another Wolf Fang fist, you think he just might be able to beat Goku, who is running on an empty stomach. Bulma then came out, triggering Yamcha's big fear of women, which was a weakness he had in the first part of Season 1, forcing him to retreat and allowing Goku to win the fight by default. The rematch between Master Mutai Ito and King Piccolo. The last time these two clashed, Master Mutai Ito was dishonored without abusing that word by any stretch of the imagination, and he nearly died. Last time, they went head to head, but here it's more or less who has the better technique. King Piccolo's finger beam, which is at this point more of an ability than a technique, or the evil containment wave, that, yes, would kill Mutai Ito by using it to seal up King Piccolo, and because Mutai Ito was conscious before the negative effects of the evil containment wave kicked in and would have killed him, he technically won the fight. And as Master Roshi said in his narration, Mutai Ito gave his life, but he was able to regain his honor. And Roshi is able to use the word honor like other words without abusing them. Mainstream religion. Now, here are all the things that I like about this fight. The scene where Yamcha comes flying down from the air and attempts a jump kick only for Tien to block it. And believe me when I say, this is the type of kick that could potentially knock over a steamroller. The part of the fight where Yamcha jumps into the air, Tien follows him, and they spar at least 1.5 stories above the ring. The introduction and single appearance of Yamcha's Wolf Fang blowing wind technique, or Wolf Fang Fist version 2, as it's known in the manga, but either way, it actually did manage to leave a scratch on Tien. The fact that Yamcha was able to use the sun to almost blind Tien and essentially take advantage of the fact that the man has 3 eyes, which led to this scene where Yamcha was able to get in some really good hits in on Tien. Hits that were hard enough to send Tien flying backwards and onto the arena floor. But when Yamcha tries it again, Tien uses this technique, or a form of ki control to essentially tense up his body to the point where his muscles are too tough for any of Yamcha's blows to make an impact. The moment where Yamcha uses the Kamehameha wave for the very first time, and making him the second human character in the franchise to ever be able to use it. Even though it's a hollow victory, as Tien was able to use his ki to reflect the Kamehameha wave back at Yamcha. But Yamcha was able to jump out of the way of the beam, which then blows up a good chunk of the arena and possibly killed people in the audience. Why both Yamcha and Tien weren't both disqualified and banned from the World Martial Arts Tournament for life, I have no clue. So anyways, Tien then kicks Yamcha right in the ribs, hard enough to knock him out, but not to kill him, thus winning Tien the match. But after this, I'm surprised that the two of them weren't banned for life, and that Goku didn't end up killing Tien after this tournament, as well as beating Yamcha up so badly he wouldn't be able to fight or do anything physical ever again. Piccolo versus Kami. Since Kami doesn't trust Goku to kill Piccolo, he possesses the body of a man named Hero and enters the World Tournament for the purpose of trying to defeat Piccolo himself, hoping that the body of an average human would take Piccolo off guard and allow him the element of surprise, something that he hoped would be his advantage, as the first thing he does when the fight begins is use his ki to knock Piccolo into the air. Kami then follows Piccolo into the air, but then Piccolo fires a Masenko, and Kami, in Hero's body, just manages to dodge it slightly. Piccolo then appears behind Kami and knocks him back onto the floor of the arena, appears right behind him, and then attacks only for Kami to use the afterimage technique to jump out of the way and slam into Piccolo from behind. Oh, and I really love this part of the fight where Kami sent Piccolo through the ring, and Piccolo just busts up through another part of the floor. Kami and Piccolo then trade blows. At this point, I'm pretty sure Piccolo suspects Hero of being Kami in disguise. So he fires a very weak energy beam at him, and the minute Hero deflects the energy blast, is the moment that confirms Piccolo's suspicions. Piccolo then uses telepathy to tell Kami that he knows that it's actually him inside of that man's body. They then speak to each other in their native language, the Namekian tongue. Now, here's basically why Kami loses the fight. In terms of power, I'd say in this case he's around, well, anywhere between Grandpa Gohan's power level and Krillin when he last fought Piccolo in this tournament. So, yeah, he's gonna lose, especially since he is going about it the same way Krillin did. Technique over power, and that rarely works. And that's why Krillin lost. Kami pulls out a bottle, puts it on the arena floor, and removes the cork. Kami jumps back and then busts out his trump card, the Evil Containment Wave. But assuming that this could all happen, Piccolo then breaks out a technique he created, the Evil Containment Wave Reverse. And it does exactly what its name suggests, as this technique turns the Evil Containment Wave against the caster, in this case Kami, who's about to be sealed inside a bottle. Kami releases Hiro from the possession, and Kami is then instantly sealed inside the bottle that he intended to use to trap Piccolo. And since Piccolo was not the one who cast the technique, he would not be harmed by it. Piccolo then dashes for said bottle, picks up the cork, and screws it in, thus winning him the fight against Kami. Then, after the fight, Piccolo swallows the bottle to keep Goku from killing him, or doing something that could kill him, because if he did that, he'd kill Kami. But he didn't know that Goku was already aware that if one dies, the other will as well, regardless of of how the last fight on this list turned out. Yamcha vs. Hiro from the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. Now, I like this fight for many reasons. The first reason is the part of the fight where Yamcha tries to kick Hiro out of the ring, but either by accident or intentionally, Hiro instantly acts scared, turns around, and headbutts Yamcha in the crotch. That part of the fight was just hilarious. Yamcha's retaliation, i.e. him using the Wolf Fang Fist for the very last time. And sadly, this is the last time that we would ever see this technique used until Gotenks used the Wolf Fang Fist in the Dragon Ball Z TV special, Yo Son Goku and His Friends Return, which came out in 2008. And yeah, it might not have worked, but it was really fun to see. Well, the last reason I have as to why this fight was so great is because after the Wolf Fang Fist did no damage, Yamcha decides to resort to using his trump card, using the Spirit Ball. And this is the first of only 4 times that this technique, which is amazing, might I add, was used throughout the entire franchise, which is a shame because it was a really awesome technique. But on the other hand, Toriyama wrote Launch out of the series because he was scared that her blonde form might get confused with Super Saiyan. And Toriyama might have done a similar thing, having Yamcha and Krillin, who only used the technique once, use this very less because he might have been scared that as Blonde Launch might get confused with Super Saiyan, the Spirit Ball might get confused with Goku's Spirit Bomb. Fails to knock Hero out of the ring, and he rockets forward towards Yamcha, elbowing him in the chest, and knocking him out of the ring, thus winning Hero the fight. Goku versus Piccolo. I mean, come on. Was there any doubt that this would be number 1? In Dragon Ball's final season, this was more or less the big climactic finish. I know that the Pilaf gang come into the story right after this fight, but that was all filler. This was the climax of both the Piccolo Jr. saga and the tournament in that story as a whole. Since the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai began, this was the outcome that everyone knew was coming. If you're like me and you saw Dragon Ball Z before Dragon Ball, you knew that the tournament would end with Goku winning. But we all knew, even if you didn't see any of the flashbacks in Dragon Ball Z and had only seen the original Dragon Ball, you would know that Goku fighting Piccolo is the big climactic final round to the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. And not to mention the fact that there are tons of reasons to really like this fight. There's tons to love about this fight. Whether it's the part where Goku and Piccolo are fighting at superhuman speed, to the point where no one can see them. Piccolo using the Mystic Attack to try and attack Goku from a distance, but he's able to block it, throws him directly into the air, hits him with a air-based ki wave, but when he jumps in the air to launch another attack, Piccolo fires an energy beam that knocks Goku back down into the arena, and then unveils his scattershot technique for the very first time. It even looked like he had beaten Goku, but of course Goku was faking it just to make things look more interesting. Other reasons to enjoy this fight are this scene from the episode Super Kamehameha, when Goku and Piccolo have this clash of ki. They strike each other, but they're evenly matched, causing them to go at it with another flurry of punches and kicks. Piccolo threatening to blast the audience, and Goku jumping directly into the air to draw Piccolo's attention away from firing on the crowd. Other reasons to enjoy this fight include Goku deflecting one of Piccolo's energy blasts right into the mountains and it being able to vaporize one. The fact that we get to see the hole in the ground where there once was a mountain, but the ki blast vaporized it. Goku almost falling out of the ring, but firing a energy blast to hurl himself right back into the ring. The very first use of the Super Kamehameha Wave, which was actually this technique's one and only appearance. Another reason to like this fight is the fact that Goku used it in the fight against Piccolo as part of a Super Kamehameha Masenko beam struggle that didn't exactly go in Piccolo's favor. Piccolo using his giant form for the very first time, and the fact that he could use his breath like a weapon against Goku. Breath that actually did damage to the floor of the World Martial Arts Tournament arena. Goku actually had to jump out of the way to avoid damage. Goku not being intimidated, but also being able to take on Piccolo blow for blow when Piccolo was in his giant form. Piccolo firing an I-beam at Goku, showing that he actually can use techniques and abilities while in his giant form. The fact that Goku tricks Piccolo into growing even bigger so that he could jump directly into the air, use the Kamehameha Wave like a rocket to send himself flying backwards, go right down Piccolo's throat, attack Piccolo from the inside, get the bottle that Kami was trapped in right before Piccolo spit him out, which he then throws to Tien, who opens it, releasing Kami from his prison. This scene where Goku and Piccolo are clobbering each other, which leads to The very first use and only appearance of the feat Kamehameha, which Goku then uses to fly up and slam directly into Piccolo. Piccolo then counters with his antenna beam, a technique that actually manages to hit Goku because he was in midair at the time, as this was only seconds after the only time he used the foot Kamehameha. Piccolo's antenna beam sent Goku crashing right into the tournament arena's floor, and right before Piccolo was able to inflict some major damage on Goku, Kami blocks the attack. And this is truly a scene where Goku's character shines, showing how honorable he truly is, as right after Kami suggests they tag team Piccolo, Goku instantly refuses. Master Roshi, another honorable character on this show, then makes a statement about how a true warrior, which Goku is, wouldn't really be focused on the fate of the world. He'd only be focused on beating his opponent, and would only be trying to find a way to win the fight at hand. Goku is truly one of the most honorable characters in all of fiction. Despite the fact that the fate of the world is on the line and that Piccolo will take over the world if Goku fails to defeat him, he tells him to punch him in order to make up for the punch that Kami just blocked. And Piccolo punches him really hard. So hard that Goku actually goes through a wall. Goku is truly an honorable person, and I can say that, and like what I said with the number 5 entry on this list, I can say what I just said about Goku without abusing the word honor. But hey, that's probably because I live in a very dishonorable and cowardly society that runs like a bunch of chickens at the first thing that might be even a little bit scary. Growing up, it was like everyone around me had no courage whatsoever, and they were terrified of anything and everything. Goku is so honor-bound to defeat Piccolo and win the tournament that he's not going to accept help from anyone, even if it is God. In this fight, he declines the help of both Kami and Tien Shinhan, who was the strongest fighter on his side by means of technique, shows how honorable he is. He wants to win on his own. And that actually makes him far more noble than these white knight jackasses like Finn Mertz from Adventure Time or Kuwabara from Yu Yu Hakusho. Not to mention, it makes him a way better character than both of them combined. Should Goku die? Krillin suggests that if Goku dies, they all jump in and kill Piccolo. But Master Roshi tells him that, yeah, it would not work. Piccolo is stronger than all of them. It would backfire, and they'd just be running like lambs to the slaughter. Other reasons to enjoy this fight include Piccolo firing a homing blast at Goku, Goku dodging it both on his own and by using the Kamehameha wave like a jet to escape from this energy blast that's homing in on him. Goku dashes right up to Piccolo, quickly moves out of the way, possibly by using the afterimage technique, turning Piccolo's own attack against him, which reduces Piccolo to a bloody and beaten mess. To avoid death, Piccolo sacrificed his arm. So what does he do? Well, first he grabs a hold of his damaged arm, rips it off, throws it onto the stadium floor, and uses the Namekian regeneration ability to restore his arm. Piccolo then uses a massive explosive wave to try and kill Goku, but Goku was able to endure it. Goku then charges at Piccolo and hits him with a barrage of punches and kicks. Then he jumps directly into the air and fires a Kamehameha wave directly at Piccolo that does some major damage to him. It looks like Goku had won. And as the announcer was counting down what looked like Piccolo's defeat, he then fires a mouth blast directly at Goku. Since Goku had been put into a false sense of security, the beam hit Goku pretty hard, enough to penetrate him. I can't believe Bandai hasn't made this scene in particular into a what-if scenario. Hypothetically, what if this was the beam that Piccolo fired and ended up killing Goku instead of this one? As Piccolo stands over Goku, Goku is in the exact same position he was when he fought King Piccolo earlier in this series. As Piccolo stomps on Goku's bloody flesh wound, Yamcha, Krillin, and Tien are about to charge in, but Piccolo was able to repel them and keep them out of this fight by putting a massive hole in the ground. But in that time, Goku was able to get up and reveal that Piccolo didn't hit anything vital. So he's gonna live and this fight is still on. But Goku's flesh wound is bleeding, and the blood loss is making him dizzy and blurring his vision, which gives Piccolo an opportunity to elbow that bloody flesh wound even more, which sends Goku flying right onto the ground. Piccolo then goes on the attack and breaks Goku's leg. And now Goku's situation mirrors his fight with King Piccolo even more, as in their final fight, King Piccolo did whatever he had to achieve victory over Goku, even using rocks to break one of his arms and both of his legs. But Goku overcame the odds and won the fight regardless. Something that Piccolo actually admits as he uses energy blasts to break Goku's arm and his one remaining leg. Piccolo then flies up into the air. Kami then asks Tien to kill him, as doing so would kill Piccolo as well. But just before Tien is able to strike down Kami, Goku screams out, telling him to stop because the fight's not over, even though Goku doesn't have the use of any of his limbs. And yes, I know that I'm beating the fact that Goku is a bastion of honor into the ground like a dead horse. But yeah, that's another reason why this fight is so great. Goku is given opportunities to be helped. He's passed them up because he wants to win the tournament and win this fight fair and square. And at this point, he's passing up an opportunity for his opponent to instantly be killed, but wants to win the fight himself. Piccolo begins charging up a Masenko, and then he fires it down directly at Goku. The blast hits, and it really does look like Goku was vaporized. Yamcha, Krillin, and Tien fall into fighting stances ready to attack Piccolo, when suddenly Krillin notices something as Goku comes crashing down from the sky at Piccolo, as he used Baku no Jutsu to escape Piccolo's Masenko, which translated into English is the flight ability, and slamming right into Piccolo, knocking him both out of bounds and knocking him unconscious, winning Goku the tournament and the title of Strongest Under the Heavens, and bringing this list to an end. And that was my top 10 list of fights from the original Dragon Ball anime. Feel free to let me know what your favorite fight from this series was. And if you liked this video, feel free to like, comment, favorite, share, subscribe if you're not already, and as I always say, Have a great day.